this are not gonna go, they've gotta be approved by the board
Okay.
anyway, so.
Yeah.
And I'll know when, and then we go
yes,
from there.
Yeah, and whatever you have is
When we address
the
this
previous
board meeting, we'll make a recommendation as to when we start this, and
When
then we'll
it's
take it to
effective,
council, and
right.
council will approve.
Okay, camera. Can we do a camera too?
Yeah.
Okay, $50.
Like right now, if I let them use my screen, I charge them $50.
So let's take that to 100. The front TV screen rental
We charge
is
75 right
75, it's gonna be 150.
It sounded more like it.
And we're gonna build, when we get up to present this, this is what we want as a
Yeah.
board. So they may shuffle us a little bit, but
I don't think so.
we really wanna try to stand firm. Okay, staff to operate equipment, $15 an hour, includes time for
What
about
equipment?
20,
Lori
all
has
of
something to
these
say.
screens and all of this
Okay.
stuff, but that's not enough.
No, I'm saying, do I get that? Because I do that right now. I do all the, you know.
Well, sorry, dear, but I think that needs to be about $30 an hour.
And we
All
usually,
of that time to set up stuff, run projectors, run cameras,
but that's, we've been doing it ourselves. Either, I've learned now.
Doesn't matter.
still needs to
That's
be
good
built
that
in.
we know how to do it.
So we
Right.
charge
That
them
means
to
we're-
do it.
That's right. We're gonna charge them and then we pay you whatever
No,
we
I
pay.
mean-
What are
Because
we
we have
currently
to cover the
charging?
cost of it.
Okay,
So
yeah.
Well,
we
all
go
that
to-
stuff is gonna have to be replaced
And
too.
that- exactly.
I mean, your projector will
Right.
last so long.
All this is, of course, we know we have debt, but it's
A
money in our
projector
kitty.
bulb
right.
can cost $250.
You know, for,
Their friggin' electricity bill,
yes.
$8,000 bucks.
Well, I don't have a
30 an hour?
projector over there, but
Yes.
I borrow it from the city, like when I need
Coffee.
it, I come and get it.
Still doing that for a
$25
while.
per urn.
How much?
$25 per urn.
And I charged $30 the last time.
So we should charge more like 50. Or- What do you charge, 35?
I
How many
charged,
cups?
this
How many-
last time,
what
they
size?
wanted two.
How many cups is it?
24.
You can't go down here and buy, I mean,
Well,
when you buy
I,
coffee.
Needs to be $50.
The
That's
job
right.
fair wanted me to set up a coffee station, so I told her that I would have
People
to charge
pay
it. So I charged $30 per
Freestanding
coffee
projector
pot,
screen.
and I charged, to buy the coffee, the cream, and everything that it
The whole,
took.
the whole thing for
So
50
I'm waiting for
bucks.
a check for $97.
Okay. All other services available, decorating, catering, entertainment. Go ahead and put linens on there.
Yeah, do that.
You got them, we put that on there on the top, okay.
Well, what are we doing?
We're gonna do at least 15. And if you think you know somebody that we might, I called around before, even back at the chamber, when we used to do our banquets,
Mhm.
and it was outrageous.
Okay.
Wonder what they charge over here where Joanne,
I don't know why you don't give somebody a job and have them do it. And,
well, this lady that works there, part-time at the community council, she said, this last time, she says, she's the one that helped me out.
there's a lot of people taking
And
washing.
she says, I'll
ironing.
take them, wash them, and iron them and everything for you. But we never really sat down to talk about a
That
price.
makes more sense to me. It really does.
And like I said, I got all those hangers from those other tablecloths that were there this weekend. I said,
And
can I
and we
have
don't use them
those?
all the
Because they
time.
were big hangers that you just kind of drape them
And
on.
dry cleaners are
And
really
That
iffy.
projector screen?
And
Now,
that's
that
just making me
projector
like a
screen,
stand to,
I believe one of the oil companies bought that and left it for us,
yes,
didn't they?
but we
We
rented
charge
out.
$25 now. so-
Which one?
A freestanding projector
I
screen.
charge $50.
That's
Okay.
probably,
That's
pretty fair
probably
right there.
fair,
Now,
yeah.
my question is, though,
Okay.
if I'm Marathon and I bought that and donated it to the center, then I have to pay rent on it?
Well, they don't know that though.
Does Marathon know they bought it?
I didn't know they had bought it. I just heard Carolyn say.
Well,
when
there's a
they-
microwave and a projector stand and stuff like that.
See, I didn't know that. That's the first
But
time.
they-
I
Well,
heard
I can honestly sit here and say that if Marathon bought the microwave and bought the projector
They've got
and
one.
left it there, I don't think that we should rightfully charge them
No.
for that.
We need to find out from Carolyn.
I mean,
about that.
honestly,
But-
I mean,
I
if
mean-
it's, now if it's EOG, then yeah, charge them for it, but if
Right.
Marathon bought it and left it, then
I, you
that
know,
would
I
almost
don't
not be
know,
right.
but we need to ask Carolyn about that, because I don't want that to come up and say, well, your charges, we bought it and gave it to
Well,
you.
see, it's never come up. It's never come up, and I've been charging them for
Well,
it.
let's just move along then, we don't need to go and.
And the person that did it may be gone and not there anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I
know.
never knew that it
When
belonged
they
to
give
them.
that kind of stuff, they
difference.
want you to make money with it, so. All companies.
Okay, concession
Okay,
part now,
concessions.
moving right along. Okay, Gloria, we have sodas we sell for what?
150.
So let's go to two.
Beer, we're
Beer,
taking
we
to
said 3.
Okay,
Chips.
From 250, okay, 250, the domestic from $2.50 to $3, the import $3 to $3.50.
Mhm.
Okay. Chips I sell them for $1, and that's kind of,
It's pretty much all you get out of the bag of chips, you
and,
know.
the candy too, I sell for $1, because I get
I
like the
think
big
more
old
the
bags.
beer and the sodas, you know,
Right.
that we could go up on, the wine cooler we could go up on.
What are
Well, the
those?
wine coolers would be $3 like the beer.
Okay,
Also, water, I sell it for $1. And this last time I didn't order water because I didn't really need sodas or anything, so usually I order everything together. So what I did, I went down to Walmart and I bought 4 cases of water, the same thing, but I sell them for $1 a thing.
That's cheap.
But I have to place an order for sodas and all that before next week.
$1.50, I think we can
Mhm.
take it for that, at least.
Ever think about putting popcorn or anything in there?
We used to, we do,
Did that not do well, or
uh,
too much trouble,
well,
or too messy?
the machine was used, and I'm waiting for Debbie to replace one of the glasses. Because when she used it for her prom fair,
Mhm.
one of the sides broke, and I'm waiting for her to replace
Okay,
it.
can you ask her to please
Yes.
get that fixed, so we can use that?
Okay,
Food wise, we do hamburgers,
We
we
don't do
don't
any of
do
that
any
anymore.
food
Okay.
anymore,
We
nothing
don't
like
do that anymore because of the fact, and this came from Carolyn before I even started. We used to do all that, because I used to go volunteer and help, but it got to where people weren't buying them, and some of the stuff we had to just throw away, so it was just a waste. And plus, it's a lot of hard work.
It's work too, but I've also been there when there's not food and everybody wants food.
well, and that's something we need to look into, is maybe, you know,
Yes.
contracting that out
Mhm.
to somebody.
Give
but-
an option
Well,
for
like when
that.
we
At
had
some
the
point.
car show last year, we gave it to the boys, Carolyn gave it to the Boys and Girls Club to do.
And we didn't make any money off of it.
We didn't, because we didn't charge her for the kitchen.
We don't need to do anything that we don't make money on.
Right.
Well, she rented she came in and said she could use the pavilion, the patio for Saturday for kind of an Easter egg for this harvest, whatever church, and I said, yeah, but I charge $200.
Mhm.
And she says, well, if I have to pay you, I guess so, and I said, yeah, give me a check for $200.
Bill, I think this is a huge start.
I
I think
think
this
it
is a big start.
This may be where we start with the taking over.
Mhm.
We take over the
And
pricing,
that's gonna be a big help to me.
and that will solve that. And we'll get that, we'll vote on it during the April meeting here.
I'll get it typed up.
Okay.
Get it tacked up, and we'll vote on it in the April meeting here, and then we can take it to council at their next meeting after that.
Do we have to wait till the middle of April? And I don't need to.
We can have a meeting whenever you
You
want
can do
to.
a special meeting, notice.
I
Which
am-
one is on with the current prices?
Matt,
Has the, Community Council of South Central Texas, have they been back in yet? Did they find any money yet? Have they been, they did?
they're back,
Okay. I really would like to get that room open and put them
they're back.
down there by you, because that's such a huge room. Does that room fill up with people when they do have
I
money?
don't mind having a meeting, now, I'm not gonna be out
All they do is
9th,
just,
10th, and 11th.
Okay.
they just have a bunch of chairs out there sitting, and there's quite a bit of people.
I am gonna be.
So they need that big room when they need it?
They have 2 desks.
I'm gonna be out for about 4 to
Okay.
6 weeks,
Okay.
starting April 15th, and I'd really like to be, in on the vote on that and the discussion,
So we're gonna
Well,
have to
the
have,
second week in April is the 8th.
Well, why
That's
don't-
the second Monday?
Yeah. I can be there the 8th, the 9th, 10th, and 11th. I'll be at Retired Teacher Association Convention in.
So 8th will work for me, because after the 15th, I'm gonna be out of pocket for just a little bit,
Okay.
so.
Bill, isn't that what you said Rob had wanted to meet the
He
second?
wanted to meet the second week,
Okay, so if that's,
and,
Yeah.
by any way he's gonna, we can meet that. I'm supposed to call him tomorrow and let him know what we talked about today.
Okay.
And then he
Who's
said,
that?
Rob Killen, our
Oh.
lawyer. And then we're gonna set a meeting, and I'll try to get him to do it the 8th.
Okay.
The 8th is gonna work great for me.
April 8th.
That'll be good, yes.
Okay. Same time, 6:30?
It's on a Monday.
Monday.
Now, we've got some other things we need to talk about. If this is the first thing we're gonna start taking over, is the
6:30?
pricing. Yeah. Then what would logically come next?
Well, I'm music fest. I'm still pouting because I.
I'm pouting.
I am.
I know those used to be some.
I'm pouting, and I have the money for all the bands donated to us. I'm still pouting. It's okay to pout though?
It's okay. I give you permission.
I
Okay.
pout. Since Dan's dying,
It sounds like a girl soccer team.
Well, I think at some point, we've got to be able, a step is to take over the salaries of the employees. I mean, and we can't do that until we know.
Well, they told me, and I don't know how to interpret this yet, that we were gonna get a budget of 1.25 our annual, of what we take in. In other words, we would, I don't know if that means in addition to, or they're just gonna give us 25% more.
See, I don't understand that, Bill.
I haven't figured out exactly what that means, and I've got to get somebody to tell me what that means. They said they were gonna give us a budget of 1.25 our intake that we
See,
make
how would
out
that
there.
work for you?
That's got to be 1.25 in addition.
Over what we're
Already
already taking
taking
in,
in.
is what I would assume.
That's
Like
what I
say
was-
if I bring in $10,000 for that month, then they'll give you an additional,
1.25%
Right,
over that.
right, that's what I would think we'd have to do. Because, adding 25% to us is not gonna help us a great deal.
no.
I think honestly, taking over the salaries is gonna be a ways away for us. I truthfully.
Isn't that taken out of parks or something right now, your salary?
Bill,
I'm under
should
Parks and
we utilize
Recreation.
as much of the city help in the beginning as we can, and
I
let's,
think we're gonna
I
have to.
do, I think that we
And,
should
you know,
just.
the other thing that comes up when
Process.
you talk about employees are benefits.
Right.
And I've even thought about trying to lease employees from the city. In other words, have, keep them as city employees and us simply reimburse. The problem is, if we have 2 employees, we're not gonna be able to get a decent benefits program
No.
from anybody for 2 employees. And,
We could just 1099 them,
well,
if we just use them like that.
well, you can do that. But it's kind of a disparity when if they work for the city, they would have all these
Well,
benefits.
they have their benefits, but they'd just be a side job for us.
Well, I would much rather look at it as saying, they're they're an employee of the city, dedicated to us. We simply reimburse the city for them, and we maintain control and supervision of those employees. Because if we don't do that,
This is squeaky.
then we're gonna have problems with the benefits. We're gonna have people they work out there until the city has an opening and jump into that.
Well, the
And
only real
we
true,
can't afford
true
that.
stable employee is Gloria.
Well,
And
I know, but one day Gloria's gonna retire. And we are going to be looking at having to keep a stable group. And this is not something you can turn over to Tom, Steve, and Susan, and then next week have Larry, Mike, and Anna there. These people we need to have a staff that knows what's happening and stays there.
And the whole thing, if I don't plan to leave real quick.
Well, I know that.
enjoy my
We're
job
We'll
and
get to that
everything.
point, right now, it's kind of, we're kind of getting our feet wet, and it's in.
I'm just using
I
that
think
as
we
an
ought to take what's
example.
But I think
Leave it.
eventually we need to look at turning it over
Eventually.
to a management company.
But
Yeah, I
nobody-
think you're
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
but we can't do it, nobody's gonna
No, I
take
mean,
it until,
Right, we get things.
we get things straightened out and
You mean
find
the
out,
concession
can
and
show them that we've got a track record of making money.
The whole thing.
I just don't understand why you wanna hire a management company when we are perfectly capable.
Because I've sat down and thought about it in my own head and figured, if we get a management company to run that, they're not gonna give us a big percentage of that.
No.
We're making more money now than I think.
Well, I think
because we
that's,
have-
And it's
I think
gonna
that's a
increase.
ways down the road.
It is, it's a way.
It's something that, you know, we would have to
Years.
find an
And
advantage
I won't be
to.
around
And nobody's gonna take it unless we have a track record.
Right.
And it's,
We've
And
already
right
put it
now, the
out on bids
hardest-
one time,
that. Wait.
and nobody was even
Hold up.
vaguely interested.
hold up.
And,
I'm sorry.
and right now, the hardest thing for me, because I know if somebody was doing my job, and not because I'm being greedy, because when I was asked, what about my salary, I was not greedy, I just felt like, you know what, I'm trying to help the city, this is a job, I'm, you know,
I don't even know how much you make yet.
well,
I'm so
but
sorry.
anyway, the
You
thing
give it
is,
to me.
the thing is the weekends for me. That is the hardest thing for me.
Well, and that's
And
what I'm
Bill
saying.
was talking
it-
about getting somebody to help, but we don't have any money right now.
Well,
Well-
that's what we're trying to do, and that's what I'm talking about salaries,
Here-
is you can't
Here was
be
my
here
idea.
24/7.
The places that I've talked to have event coordinators. And they are people who, when, let's say you have an event, they are there, they make sure that all the rules are followed. They have the authority to close the event down if they're not followed. They check on the beer license, which is another topic we need to talk about. They check on all of this stuff, and then they're there in case the lights go out, or the water, bathrooms flood, or something like that. They know who to call and have numbers to call emergency.
Bill Gloria does that.
Well, that's, we're
But
saying
the
she's
board
tired of
can't do
doing
that
it
every
every
night.
weekend.
Is that what
Yeah.
She does it
Yes, that's
seven
what
nights
she's
a week.
saying, yeah.
Like every weekend, every.
Well, I wanna be sure that she gets the.
But I'm not, again, guys, I'm not complaining, because I
Well,
wanna
know,
help
but
my
Gloria,
city.
still-
But
And I'll
you
do what I
can't
can.
continue that
No.
forever.
But I wanted to make sure that you that you knew, that we knew everything that you do.
Oh, and I, you know, I know Andy appreciates me a great deal, I know y'all do too. And like I said, I will continue doing, because Bill had a good suggestion, but we don't have money to be paying an
Well,
event
not
coordinator.
right now.
That's-
Not right now, but maybe
That's-
later,
Well,
and
I'm
I'll
thinking
continue
is, I mean,
doing.
is we include it in the fee.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, a management coordinator is something that we have to have.
Mhm.
And we can go out and find 4 or 5 people and certify them as event
And they
coordinators,
get part-time.
And
and they
that
can
would
do
have
it
to be benefits.
part-time.
That's
They
right.
would work out there, you know, on a schedule, and we would pay them by the night to be the event coordinator. And other places do this, and we can do it. Now, if she wants to make her money doing that, I think we ought to pay her to do those. That's, you know, I can't ask her to, whatever she's making out there.
But your salary's pretty good, isn't it? She's got a good salary. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, it's not good for 60, 80 hours a week.
No.
Like the last 2
Right.
weeks, and we
Break it
even had
down.
one day off, I worked 96 hours.
And you can't do that. That's not even
I don't even know that's legal.
waging out, it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
And, you
And
know,
I don't even, I mean, I could probably say I'm on call overtime, no, I'm not
Girl,
gonna do that.
I don't even wanna hear it, because I know what you're doing, and we appreciate it,
Right,
but it's not right.
but it's
Well, I
not.
just feel like I wanna help my city, and I'm gonna,
Well, I
until we get
understand that,
money,
and I
until we
appreciate that.
get
but-
stable,
We do, but
then,
we gotta,
you know.
We
we've
cannot
got to-
continue.
No.
You know, Carolyn tried to do it too, and it finally got to the point where, you know, and she has children,
Right.
and you can't sit out there all night long. And so I think we need to look at this event coordinator idea, because that's the only way I can see that we can. I talked to a guy from another center, and he says yes, and we just had an incident a couple of weeks ago where the event coordinator shut the place down. Some kids were in there, and they started shooting off, they had firecrackers. The firecrackers went off, scared everybody in the room, And the event coordinator closed out the whole thing and said, the party's over, I'm sorry, you violated the rules, you've caused a disturbance, and we are not gonna have this. And she closed, and, you know, the council and all supported her,
Right.
because that's part of it.
Mhm.
And we need somebody with that kind of authority that has the sense to do those things. And they need to be fully qualified, and we need to teach a class, they need to learn about alcohol, tobacco, I mean, alcohol rules and all that stuff.
Well, I'm pretty strict with a lot of that stuff.
Gloria, I have no doubt that you are, and I'm proud that you are, but you can't keep doing it every night of the week. You're gonna end up in a hospital somewhere. And, you know, I'm church choir director, and every Sunday, it gets to be a drag sometimes when you have no Sundays off, and your wife wants to go somewhere, and you say, I can't, that's on Sunday.
Well, I'm very happy because last weekend, I got somebody, Alex took over. Of course, I was worried, I went out there when we came back to make sure all the lights were off, stuff like that.
Well, you should be able to go watch your boys, your grandsons
And then
play baseball.
this weekend, well, I'll be out of pocket, you know, after my eye surgery. But then the following weekend, it's a home and garden show, and that kind of takes care of itself. So,
Right.
you know, I do get breaks, and like I told them, I don't complain.
And if you want to take those dates, you're welcome, we can set up where you can do
And that's the
that.
thing about Andy, if I don't have anything like that week, you know, I'll tell him, Andy, I'm gonna take a couple of days off, and he'll say, you go right ahead, Miss Will, you know, I mean, so,
Good.
you know, it all
That's
works
good.
out.
So, okay, so event coordinators, that's another plus. What, I think we have a good start with just.
I do, I think this
I
is.
just the
a very
fees right now.
beginning,
Fee structure.
A lot of
yes.
stuff to
Huh?
I
kind
said,
of
just the
focus
fees
on.
right now would be.
Oh,
Definitely.
that's a big deal.
Well, let's go that far. And
Yeah,
get that
I
right.
think that's a
written
big,
up for the-
And
big
it's typed up
time.
for the April
Type,
meeting.
and we'll
I'm
type that
excited.
up for the
I
April
am
I
meeting.
am too.
We get the April meeting, then we'll take it to the council, the next available meeting after that. And
And if I start losing customers, I'll come tell y'all.
Yeah.
I'll try to get Rob
I
set
don't
up for
think so,
April
Mel,
the
right?
8th.
Okay.
Not my customers.
Now, if I can't, if for some reason he can't do it April the 8th,
Let us know.
we'll just have to go from there. I'd like to get in so she would.
Well,
be
y'all
there.
need to just
And
tell
if
him
not,
that,
That's fine, but I will be out for sure all of April and majority.
You're pretty instrumental in this thing, so we need it, we need you.
I would like to.
I was gonna
but-
say, you need to be here, Mel.
Uh-huh.
No, I'll just call in and y'all can put me on speaker.
Well,
Well, don't you have everybody's email address? You could email us.
I have everybody's phone number. I don't have everybody's email address.
Is that other guy still gonna be on the board or not?
That's another thing we need
Because
to
he
talk
hasn't
about.
showed up for a long time. It's been-
I've seen him and talked to him a couple of times and he's just really busy.
He lives he's in Austin or something now.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
That's what I heard today.
You know, I don't know, his wife doesn't, I used to be able to get in contact with his wife at school, but she's not teaching
Yeah,
anymore.
she's going to
In
nursing
nursing
school,
school.
yeah.
So I don't know,
He's cooking at Trail Riders is what he's doing.
Yeah.
well, I know, but he's not participating on our board.
Exactly, so
So you
we
need somebody,
yeah.
have somebody
Do we
to come
need
in.
another board member, or is this fine?
We have 5, we're allowed 5, and we've only got an effect for,
I think we're very effective the way we are.
well,
What's the rule? Is there a rule? that-
it makes it difficult to get a quorum sometimes. If she's
Oh,
not there
I see.
and you get sick, then
I never
Paige
did
and I will be meeting by ourselves, and that's not legal.
Right.
I don't miss unless, I mean,
Yeah.
I have something coming up that I'm not gonna be able to help.
But this is
And
very
I will
committed.
try not to do this meeting, but I thought we needed to talk about these
I think
things.
it's great.
And
Yeah,
I think we need to
we got a
have,
lot.
I agree, and that's the reason
Well-
today
I'll tell
I
you
just like
something else.
barreled, because I want something done.
I
And-
have
And this will take a lot, guys,
set
I
up-
really appreciate it, because this will take a lot of stress off.
Yes, it will.
I've set up the computer out there. I've got,
He's my secretary.
I'm doing some of her stuff out there, or
Good.
working out there. And I'm gonna try to be out there at least 3 afternoons a week.
He's gonna do inventory with me too.
And I wanna learn
I'm gonna
what,
be free after tax season.
How we
You
do
can use
everything.
me any way you want to, and I'll be a follower, I won't be a boss.
uh,
Just count.
It's not to give
I
her
understand.
direction or anything like that, it's
It's
for me to
time.
find out.
No, and I don't have a problem with it.
And, you know, also do things like agendas and things like that, and I'll have some time to do
That's
this.
good, Bill, that's awesome.
So, and we've got the computer out there, so I can keep
Well,
notes.
we'll
on
get
what
that
we're
other
doing.
one, because Diane's using it right
Yeah.
now, but we'll get the other.
But, anyway, that's what I'm doing. And I've talked to Andy probably 2 to 3 times a week in some form or another. And everything I mentioned to talk to Andy, you know, anytime we make a decision, I'll bring it back to the board the next time we have it. If I have to make a decision, I'll try to call everybody. If I can't, I'll just tell you what I did. And I won't apologize for it, because if it's that important, I'll
I
have to.
I have to say something. James, my employee, he was like, well, what's he doing here? And I said, well, he's gonna be helping us, James. Well, what do we have to do? And I said, well, are you scared? I mean, he's just here to try to help us. He's not here to watch what we do, and we don't really care who watches us. We're doing what we got
There's
to
some of the
do.
rumors that go around.
Yeah, and, but he says, well, he used to be my teacher, and I said, well, then, what are you scared of?
Yeah, I had to, but and I'll tell you this story, the reason sometimes you have to make decisions, the day before our first 4th of July event, we had all this thing planned, was the day we lost our executive director. I didn't have anybody, so I quickly gave it to Alex, because he's the only one that had worked out there that knew the system. And so I just had to make a decision, this is what I'm gonna do, and I told the board about it
I was on the
at the
board.
next meeting. And it was a matter that there was just no option, we had to do something. And that's the only reason I'll make a decision like that, but if I do, understand why, and if I can avoid it, I'll come back
Okay.
to y'all first.
One question about these fees, are y'all going to decide what kind of percentage I give to nonprofits?
Not yet. We're gonna have to, I guess that's another,
The reason we settled on that was, what our thinking was at the time, and I think George Ramsdale's the one that made the motion for the 30%. We understand that Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Little League Baseball, maybe not, so much, but there's a lot of us groups that operate on a very, very minimum budget.
right,
And we didn't want to say, you're not gonna be out here because you can't afford it, so don't worry about it. We wanted to give everybody an opportunity. So what we said is if they were a 501c3 or a church, then we would consider the 30% discount. And that made it in the ballpark where they could use the place. The thing we need to keep in mind, we are not here to serve just the kids or just this, that, but we're also here to serve the seniors. We're here to serve not just one part of the community, but all of the community. And we've got to be able to serve those people.
I was driving in that street where the post office is, and I was just driving by and they were constructing this building. I thought, what is that? And I went in there, and the man told me, he says, this is for nonprofits in there. Did you know that?
Which one? That big building?
It's under construction right now.
I thought that it was a human resource
new-
building, that's what I heard, that they're moving from there to over here. Cause I was kinda curious, and I asked Cindy Nichols,
Uh-huh,
and she says, yeah, that's a new human resource building.
okay.
It kinda would be
It was just a
nonprofit.
Yeah, it was just,
Well, anyway, that was the thinking when we did it.
But what does the chamber pay when they have something out there? They pay the 30% off, up to $18.50.
Well, now it's 2,000, and I charge them $1,400. Cause they use the kitchen.
So the Opry pays $1,400.
Because it's a Thursday, they're only paying $600. That's the fee, and then 30% off of that, I charge them $420.
thank you.
And see, that's because it's a Thursday.
That needs to go away.
Well, but if y'all raise the prices, because y'all raise the prices on weekdays too, right?
Yeah,
Okay, but nonprofit means you don't make a profit.
now,
Right.
yeah, and
You're
nonprofit,
charging at the
They
door
we're
and,
supposed to be looking at 501c3 corporations.
And like I said, I love them all, and y'all don't get me wrong, I work with all these people, they're very nice
it has
people.
nothing to do
Again,
with
it's
that.
Yeah,
part.
but you know how things go,
Well,
you know.
but it's,
But
again,
the
it's a
thing is,
business.
that they are more demanding, they get more demanding every
See,
time.
that would make me go the opposite direction.
James is there hand and foot, moving things, doing it.
That can't
But we
wash
can't
anymore.
do it.
We can't.
The schools, the proms and all that, I charge, well, I mean, the price is $12.95.
That won't
Cause it's
wash
$18.50 and 30% off. The proms, all the proms, I've been charging them that much. I think the schools have that.
Well, it's not the schools, the class pays, the junior
Right.
class pays
right, the
for it.
kids
And-
pay for
The
it.
kids
Well,
are
they
paying.
have money
They pay
to
from
have,
the time they start their freshman year,
Yes.
we
They
pay, you
work
pay
for
for
it,
it the
so-
entire
and
time.
now
you're in
you have to
school.
pay a fee to go to the prom. It's not like it used to
Well,
be.
see, what they
And
do,
the thing
they
is
buy
that-
points. You have to have so many points, and each point, you can bring, like, Coke to the concession stand, or you can bring, things, different times of the year, you can help with this and get so many points. But when you have to buy the rest of your points, it's like $20 a point or something like that.
Well, the way I look at that, if they can hire someone to come and just totally decorate for the event instead
They
of
get
letting the kids do it,
limousines and.
then,
Yeah, well, I'll take up for teachers on that. I've been out there many hours at night decorating for prom. And it's a burden that's thrown on the teachers. And it shouldn't be.
It should not be.
well, and last year, Miss Reed, Cameron, she had the best time, and those kids just loved it, and they decorated the whole thing.
When you have a class that will do
That
that,
will
that's
do it.
great, but you also have classes where
That will
nobody
not do
shows up.
anything. Yeah, you're right, I mean, and, I'm just,
Back to, I don't think someone who makes money, whether it's if they have
they're
their.
selling something or they're making
Mm,
profit.
right.
They charge, $15 to get in the door,
That's not
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
they don't need to get a discount.
No.
right.
I agree.
good. Like, for instance, the teachers,
Yeah.
retired teachers,
Yeah.
I think we give y'all a discount, but y'all are just there to, like, a get-together, they're not selling anything or.
Right, they're not
Right.
making money on anything.
Yeah.
They're having a dinner, they're having
Right.
like Marathon has a meeting.
Mhm.
You know what I mean, I don't know, I just believe.
Well, would it be too cumbersome, at least at first, to take it on a case-by-case basis?
As
I
long
think
as
it-
we are equitable, but the problem that I'm worried about is
Mm-mm.
we have, all right, suppose the fire department comes in here, and, heaven knows, I support the fire department and the EMS. I was in EMS for 15 years, I know what that's like. And those people don't,
They don't have any kind of income, just what's donations and whatever.
The only
But-
money they make is off of their logged-in day.
Right.
right.
Which that buys all their
So, on
supplies.
something like
And they
that, I'm
service
all in
us.
favor of us
Yes,
having a
me
board
too.
meeting
Yes,
and waiving
me
the
too.
fees, as much as we possibly can. But then, when you do that for them, here comes
Right.
4-H.
That's right.
And I'm also a great believer in 4-H. So, okay, we do it for 4-H. The next thing that comes in is another event.
Well, that's why.
We
it's
just
so-
have to pick it with a percentage like we did before, and that's why we
And
pick.
see, each time we do that, we're knocking out a paying customer. Because Wild Game Dinner's on a Saturday.
Right.
So we're not only losing that money, we're losing
So
the,
did
Well,
we just
why not
decide that we
just
don't get a discount?
keep
And
it-
maybe we make a donation back to this
That's
organization?
that's what I was thinking.
Well, like like the
because
fire
we don't have the
department,
funds to do that
Right.
right now.
like
Well,
the
they're
fire
gonna pay the
department.
fee, so we take money out of the fee that they pay and, we take
Something.
the same amount to every person somehow to where it's the same,
Well, our prices have gone up, just keep the 30% discount, or take
We'll
it
make a little more.
to 20.
well, and that was the original proposal, I think was 25%.
I think that's
but the reason we did the 30 was George felt like.
Well, the thing
We
is
can't
that
feel
George
sorry
is
for
not,
people.
I know.
George is not on the
We can't.
board.
I
and
know
these
that, but
ladies,
I'm just
you know.
saying that he was at that time, and that was where it was.
And you know, like I was telling Bill the other day, I said, if it were up to me, the fire department, I'd say use it, because they service us. But I can't do that, and I'm not gonna do that.
No, because someone
then-
else,
Okay, for instance, Paul File approached me, at Circle G on Friday. They wanna have the auction there this year.
Well,
And
I
so
think we
then you
need
get
to
into the
discuss it.
churches. Like First Baptist is having their sunrise service.
Yes,
there.
and I didn't charge them a penny, because they're gonna use our patio, that's all, on Sunday morning.
And, you know, there again, somebody's gonna come back and
So
the
what-
Methodist
what
church is
happened?
gonna turn around and say,
we didn't charge
You
them.
didn't
we
charge
rent the
them.
patio
Therein
for
lies the
$400,
problem.
we've got to
Yeah,
rent
you
the
did it
patio
so-and-so.
for.
that's what I'm saying, you're setting a bad
You
precedent.
have to
Yeah.
say it's
And that's
the
why
same
you've got to have it in
for
writing, and
everybody.
you've got to
Yes.
say that this is
Yes,
what
I
we're.
understand.
If that
Yeah.
patio
standard
is
policy.
$200,
Right.
that patio
If
is
it's being used, we're
$200.
gonna have money, period.
We can't pick and choose who we're gonna
No.
charge, because that's when you
She's
get
got
the,
part- her
well, she did it for
feelings.
me, or
Right.
she did it for
Right.
them. We can't
And
do
you think we
that.
got problems with people not wanting to pay that, wait till they start coming to council and say, well, you gave the Boy Scouts
Exactly.
this, and you get, but the Girl
No,
Scouts don't
that
get
fee
this.
structure has to be, it doesn't
For
matter.
everybody.
You
It
know,
has
Bill
to be,
Gleason wants to
right.
rent the patio. Well, Bill Gleason, it's
Yeah.
$400
Right.
bucks. You know, Melissa Poplin wants to rent that patio. Well,
Right.
it's $400.
Well, I've had calls from city employees, well, or not even from city employees, from people that live in Floresville and say, well, since we live in the city, do we get, no, you pay, just what, you know.
We can't do that.
I
It's got
think
to
that's a
be-
dangerous thing to say.
It is.
I think that we need to say,
We're gonna do this for nonprofits and.
I say we give them a 20% discount, and that's it.
That's
That's what I was
There's
thinking,
no-
20%.
Sorry,
That's it.
you're my buddy, oh
Right.
pal, this is how it is, because we have to.
We have to be consistent.
Did that go on in the past?
Sir,
Did that go on in the past? Discounts for friends and families and
No.
buddies? and-
we've,
No.
no, we're using examples
We're
of
using
how,
examples.
How
yes,
it could-
yes.
Just
How-
making sure.
Deteriorating.
Carolyn
Yes.
would not give those discounts.
No.
Okay, just making sure. I didn't think so, but I have to clarify
Definitely.
Oh,
that.
I don't believe that, but okay.
You don't believe that? Oh, I can guarantee you, my niece got married there and I didn't get one penny off anything. Matter of fact, I wrote an extra check there for dinner.
And if I wanted to rent it, I'd have to pay
Mhm.
whatever it is, but I don't plan to
What we're
rent it.
talking about though is that you can't sell.
Now, word it right, Johnny.
Trust me.
We don't want
Oh, I
any,
will.
Don't you dare say I said that.
I'm gonna say, it was all you.
leave Gloria out. I'm just an employee.
Say it was all your fault. You did everything.
I don't
Okay, I'm
But
done.
anyway,
I'll be
that's,
getting calls
Yeah.
tomorrow.
that's where we are. All right, it is now 4 minutes after 8, and I'm gonna say that we are adjourned.
Good deal.
So, yeah.